Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I am finally filming the very requested updated go-to makeup tutorial. It has been a while since I last did this, so I wanted to show you guys my recent glam that I've been doing. This is the makeup that you guys see every single time I'm filming a YouTube video, when I'm posting on my Instagram, when I'm on my Snapchat stories, basically when I'm out and about or in front of a camera, taking photos, filming something. Before we jump right into it, every single product I use in this video will be linked below in the description, along with the links to all of my other socials, my Instagram, my Snapchat, which I'm posting on daily right now, along with my TikTok, my other YouTube channels, so be sure to check it out. So this is the before. So I thought I would talk you guys through my prep and priming routine, which I've already done. So in the morning, I don't wash my face, I only rinse it with water, and then I go through with a centella toner and then a centella serum, which I feel really hydrates my skin and makes sure it's properly prepped for makeup application afterwards. And then I go in with my regular moisturizer and eye cream too, which is super important. I use the Kiehl's avocado eye cream every single morning. And then afterwards I go in with my priming routine. Recently I've been using the Say Super Glow. This is in the shade Star Glow, but I've used many shades of this. Chef's kiss, so good. And then I've also been using the NARS Radiance Primer, which has SPF 35 in it, which we love. And now let's get into the makeup application. First product after priming is always color corrector. I've been using the Huda Beauty color corrector for a really long time now. This is in the shade Pink Pomelo, and I always go under the eyes and around the mouth to hide any pigmentation, because if you just put concealer right on top of it, it's gonna look really grey and ashy and not give you that bright look that we're going for. A little bit goes a long way with this. You do not want to overdo it. I've been using this product for 2 years now and it is really, really good. However, the actual bottle leaks all the time. So I'm thinking of switching back to drugstore, because with a color corrector, I just don't really think you need to go high end. I know e.l.f. has a really good one. Next up is foundation. I've been using the Estee Lauder Double Wear in the shade Tawny. This just gives you that flawless base and it lasts all day long. And then I always go in with a Morphe M439 brush to buff up my foundation. This is the best brush for foundation. But yeah, this foundation is it for me, because if I were to describe my makeup, it really fits into the category of Insta baddie makeup. Like, I'm really not here for that clean girl vibe. It's just never been me. I love to be extra. I love to be full glam. And when you're gonna go in with contour and baking and things like that, you need a good foundation that's gonna give you the right base. It's just the most airbrushed finish. I'm obsessed. Now that that's all blended out, it's now time to map out our concealer. This is the most important part, which is really gonna make it glam and full coverage. So every single day I use either one of these. I've been using this one in particular for years. This is the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. I use it in shade 20. Huge fan. I've actually used the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer and this is a dupe of it, and yet I still prefer this one. And then recently, like for the last few months, I've been using the Say Slip Tint Concealer Corrector in shade number 8. This I love because it's specifically designed for acne prone skin, and that also reminds me every other like single product I use in this tutorial are all safe for acne prone skin. They do not clog your pores. I've done extensive research. So for that really flattering Insta baddie makeup look, it's all in the concealer placement. So you want it on the bridge of your nose as a highlight, on the chin as a highlight, on the forehead, just place it nice and small here. And then I kind of like to bring it in towards my nose for some reverse nose contouring. So I start by buffing out the eyelid concealer and I let everything else dry down a little bit. If you let it dry down before you blend it out, you'll get fuller coverage from the product. Okay, and then under the eyes, this is where we get super serious. You don't want to drag the product. You don't want to be tapping in the same place for too long. You're just going to pick up all of the concealer that you placed. You really want to focus on tapping it lightly and then focusing more on blending the edges. And I find doing it that way means you get a lot of coverage here. Now we've got the concealer all blended out, it's time to go in with contour. I've gone through many cream contours and I love a lot, but I recently purchased this Hourglass foundation stick as my contour. I hate how much I love it because it's definitely an expensive product. 100% I'm going to be repurchasing this all the time. By no means is it my daily product. I actually still love to use the Made by Mitchell curve case on a daily basis. This will always be like a ride or die, but this just goes the extra mile. Your cream contour can often look muddy, and you need to be super careful with this. This gives you such a glow. So it's the Hourglass Vanish Stick in shade 16. I actually wanted to get it a little bit darker, but it was sold out, but I find that this still works super well, and a little bit goes a long way, which also really helps when the product is so expensive. And with nose contour, it's also super important to keep a light hand. That's what my nose contour looks like. The closer you place the lines together, the smaller your nose is gonna look. And also I don't even draw on a full straight line like I've done around my face, because otherwise it gets too much on the nose. So now I'm going in with my Morphe complexion brush, and I start with the jawline and I just buff that out. I have to say Morphe brushes are my favorite. And then I buff out the contour, just trying to keep it in the same place and not drag it down too much, so I keep that lifted look. What I love about this complexion brush is the small end, which I always use for my nose contour. So I buff it out. It doesn't need to be too neat because we're gonna fix it with baking later. Okay, and now that we've got all that warmth and depth and dimension added to the face, I'm gonna go in with blush, and I love the shade Sweet Cheeks, so I just tap that on. Blush is all blended out. I always go in an upward motion just to lift the face. You can see how like glowy and reflective my concealer is right now because of that Say Super Glow. But the last step before I go in with baking and just mattifying everything is going in with a brightening or lightening concealer. You can use absolutely any product for this. I'm simply just using this Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Perfect Glow Concealer, and I'm using it in the shade 2, which is significantly lighter than my skin tone. But I take the smallest amount. You want to dab it in the inner corner. I do a little bit more on the nose just to clean up any of that contour, chin, forehead. So this is a lot less product than the concealer I already placed, simply for brightening purposes and just to clean up any of that contour work. Going in with 2 concealers is just such a game changer, because that's really where you level up your contour game and you add so much more depth and dimension to the face. Now we want to powder these under eyes ASAP. So I take a powder puff. This is the Trigwell one, so worth it by the way. And then I go in with my Fit Me translucent powder. You can take any translucent powder and then look up and just tap that in to set the under eye before we go in with our baking powder. This was a tip that I learned online, which helps you get the most flawless under eyes. Before baking, I go in with my powder brush. This is the Morphe M536, and then I also powder my eyelids to start preparing them for eyeshadow. I am obsessed with this. This is the Made by Mitchell eye lights for my eyeshadow, just for a really nice wash of color, to set the concealer and make sure none of it is creasing in my eyelid, and to just generally brighten up the eyelid as well. So I purchased the Hourglass Veil Translucent Medium Powder. I love it. I love it. I love it. I think it's definitely worth a try. However, I wouldn't say it goes too much beyond what Huda Beauty does, so I love both equally. And I really try to take the edge of the powder puff and press it up against my nose contour to create a line to clean it up, the contour. I don't do this every single day, but for my glam days and when I want my makeup to last all day, this is a really good step. Definitely helps your makeup last longer, but also just carves out that contour. So I literally just fill in the few sparse areas I have and just adjust this shape to how I want to be, but it's super quick. I always draw my eyebrows a little closer together because I feel like it's more flattering. And then brow gel, I've been using this for over a year. I hate most brow gels. This is the only one I like. This is the e.l.f. Brow Lift. So good. Okay, now I'm going back in with my powder brush and I am just wiping away all of that setting powder. I'm just doing patting motions everywhere, just to push it into the skin. Once that's all blended out, I go back in with my Fit Me translucent powder and a big fluffy brush, and I just get a really small amount of product, tap it off, and then just go through the rest of my makeup, just lightly locking everything into place. For my powder bronzer, I've been using this one from Too Faced. Mix them together, add some more warmth to the face, and just lock in everything I did with cream product. Then it's time for blush. I take another big fluffy brush. This is actually from Brushworks. It's the blush brush, and I've been using the Kylie Cosmetics blush. This was a really random purchase for me. This is the pressed blush powder in shade Winter Kissed. It's the most gorgeous, like, sweet baby doll pastel pink. I haven't heard the best things about the Kylie blushes, but I personally love this. Then it's time to go in with a highlight. I literally only have one highlight product in my whole collection, but if it works, it works. This is the Kilowatt Fenty Beauty highlighter in shade Lightning Dust and Fire Crystal. So I take this on a fluffy kind of eyeshadow brush. I just mix the two shades together, and then I highlight my brow. By the way, guys, I know I do my makeup in a really weird order, but it just works for me. I love a good brow bone highlight. Once all of that powder bronzer and powder blush is all done, then the last thing we're gonna go through is the Eyelights brightening powder again. Once again, kind of like how we did with the cream, we're just cleaning things up a little bit. So I take shade Glory, which is a little bit warmer and matches my skin tone a little more, and I just go underneath my powder bronzer just to clean it up, carve it out, make it look snatched. I'll even go on my chin and also my forehead just to bring the depth and highlight back there. And then I always take the lighter shade, which is Ascend, add this under my eyes really, really lightly. I kind of stay super compact. I don't go all the way down here because I don't want to mess up all the work we did with the blush. How cute is this? Also from Made by Mitchell, the Bronzed Hotel. Just look at the shades. Oh, I saw that this was on sale on TikTok, so I was like, I'm just gonna get it and see what it's about. I love it. I'm yet to use it around my face, but I think this is the perfect just eye palette because it's all matte. So I just kind of work around with these shades, and then in the crease, and this adds some depth to your eyes. I really drag this shade like as far as it can go. And then guess what? I actually go back in with my brightening powder and I use this light shade on my eye. Now you can totally use normal eyeshadow for this. I used to. Right now I'm just like, I just grab what I've already used just out of convenience. I recently bought this. It just arrived yesterday. This is the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. Now I think I was actually supposed to mist this on my face between layers of makeup, but it looks like I'm just using it to finish it off today. I've been using matte lip liners. I either use Spice or Cork. Sometimes I use both together, so I'm gonna do that today. Okay, that's what Spice looks like. It's a really nice brownie nude. It's a good like all over color. And then sometimes I like to go in with Cork. Sometimes I do it all over, but a lot of the times I'll use this to contour the lip, which really helps bring the overlining all together. So I go just under the middle and then just at the Cupid's bow. Right now I've been obsessed with the MAC Maximal Matte Lipstick in the shade Honey Love. I love this shade. I like to just have one base shade and then I always go in with the product I've been using for years. Everybody always asks me, what do you use? It's always NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream in Stockholm. I'm obsessed with the way it feels. It's not too drying or heavy on the lips. And that's the finished lip, which I just think is the perfect everyday nude. Eyeliner, I always use the NYX Epic Ink Fell Tip Liner. I have used so many eyeliners in my time, as I'm sure you can all imagine. I've been putting eyeliner on for 10 years. I've used liquids, I've used fell tips. This is always gonna be the best fell tip. So when you're doing eyeliner, always make sure that your eye is relaxed. Don't do this because your eyeliner is not gonna come out in the way that you wanted it to. So I start in the middle of my eye, where my eyelid reaches its highest point, like the peak. Start from the bit at which it droops down, and I start drawing down here, and this is going to be filled in a little bit, but now we're looking kind of straight on, super relaxed. I'm seeing where the eyelid ends. You do not want to draw your cat eye so that it's on this crease, eyelid crease, because then your eyeliner is never going to look right. You always want to go outside of that, and I always do it in the direction of where my eyebrow tail is, and then I join it to the line we just drew. I can't believe I'm doing this and talking at the same time. This is pretty wild. And you want to draw a diagonal line and make sure it's pointing downwards. If you go straight, it's not going to look flattering at all. And then I join it in like a triangle shape just here. And then I kind of stop the line right there. And then I just join it here to the start of my upper eyelid. Now I'm going to go in and tightline. I'm using the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil. This is waterproof, it's long lasting, and it's just in the shade Black. So I only ever do this on my top lash line. I find that when I do it on the bottom, it makes my eyes look a little bit smaller, which is fine. It just depends on the look I go for. Just squeeze it, really hold it on there. Make sure I get the largest curl. Okay, and then mascara. I get this question all the time. Now, I've been using a lash primer for a really long time. The state of it, oh my god. I've been using this for over a year now, and this is basically like, it looks like a white mascara and you put it on before any mascara you use. This is by Lancome. It's the Lancome Lash Booster. So what's really good about this is now you can get the length and the shape of lashes you want, and this does not clump your lashes. So then when it comes to using your mascara, you use less of your actual mascara, so that you can avoid any clumpy lashes that are sticking together. For the last 2-3 months, I've actually consistently just been using this same mascara. I love it. I've already raved about it on my Instagram. Love her. But I have been seeing people talk about the Maybelline Sky High mascara for so long, so I went out and bought it 2 weeks ago. Love it. I just comb that through. I've also, like, over the last few months started doing mascara on my bottom lashes, which is, I never used to do that before, but I found that that kind of adds more drama to my eyes, brings more focus and attention to my eyes as well in my makeup look. And that brings us to the end. This is the finished makeup look. This is what I wear all the time when I want to be just soft glam. I'm not going anywhere too special. It's like not a night out, but I know I'm going to be on camera. I want to be looking my best. I found all of the kind of makeup techniques and products and features that suit me best and kind of bring out my natural features. But I hope you enjoyed this. If you did like it, be sure to follow me on Instagram and Snapchat, because that's where I'm always doing BTS of makeup. I'm posting, you know, the days that I play around with different makeup looks. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you same time next Sunday for a brand new vlog. Bye. I appreciate you.